I heartily welcome Mr. Krishnan, CA, Business Unit Head, Higher Education, TCS ION. Just a few words on Mr. Krishnan. Mr. Krishnan, CA, is a Business Unit Head for Higher Education at TCS ION. He carries rich experience across geographies in the US, Europe, and in India, working closely with Fortune 500 clients across industry verticals such banking, telecom, manufacturing, retail, and education. Mr. Krishnan has held several leadership positions in strategy, business development, delivery, and products, and has been part of TCS ION right from its inception. With a keen understanding of clients, priorities, and a deep domain knowledge of key industries, he has conceptualized several new products, platforms, and services in Tata Consultancy Services that have helped global clients reimagine their business and drive value creation for their consumers. A very warm welcome to Mr. Krishnan, Business Unit Head, Higher Education, TCS ION. Mr. Krishnan, over to you, please.
Thank you for that very warm introduction.
Thank you, sir.
And I just hope my screen is visible. Just want to make sure.
It is visible, sir.
Great. So thank you once again for inviting me, and a very warm welcome to fellow panelists, special guests, the ICC chair, and all the academic institutions who have taken off time on a Saturday to join us. The last 1.5 years has been extremely difficult, in particular for our partners in higher education. And this is a time where industry and academia need to come together. And I'm very happy that ICC has put together this conference for like-minded individuals to come discuss and see how we can, really look at transforming education. And for the next 10 minutes, I would like to share my thoughts on how institutions can achieve academic excellence. It is said that no country in the world has transformed and become a developed nation without focusing on higher education. And this is a very important topic that's very close to our heart at TCS ION. And my point of view is that in order to achieve academic excellence, we need to look at 4 key dimensions, starting with learning. The key word in transforming learning or achieving academic excellence in learning is to bring the industry and make the industry participate in both design and delivery of curriculum that is trending and which is basically around the skills that the industry requires. And it's very important that academic institutions come forward, involve the industry to design such curriculum. The other area about transforming learning is to look at digital model of delivery. Today, with the onset of the pandemic, we have seen that educational institutions have significantly adopted digital online lectures. But we do see that with the pandemic waves subsiding, it is important for us to look at not just pure online or pure physical, but a digital model which has not just the leverage of technology, but also the labs and in-center that the institution has invested in. And like my previous speaker mentioned, it's very important to look at experiential learning so that students don't end up learning theory, but also learn how to apply that theory in industry context. The second area that one needs to look at is assessment, and assessment in terms of looking at how do we attract the best talent and a diverse pool of talent to join an academic institution based on various institutions' capability in shaping up talent and based on the interest of the talent to come and study at the institution. So it is important to look at technology, not just from a learning, but also from an assessment standpoint. And when it comes to assessment also today, technology offers an ability to assess a student capability in multiple ways. So for example, if a student has to learn coding, why should they be tested on the theory of coding? Why don't we give them a problem statement where they can actually compile a code online and then measure their ability to create impact through such technology adoption. And the last aspect about assessment transformation is to drive assessment in a transparent, free, and manner where there is no malpractices, because it is very important that we take this dimension very seriously. Because soon enough, when the student is unable to demonstrate capability, the corporates are going to question the quality of the assessment that was conducted in the institution. And I will talk a little bit about what are the dimensions on how to achieve and protect the institutional credibility. It's not just about technology, but it's also about ensuring the credibility of the institution is not compromised. The third area of transformation, which I believe is extremely important, is placements. Today, it is possible to baseline and benchmark every institution and the students studying in them in terms of their employability quotient, and then use that analytics to create specific learning paths so that a student can take himself or herself from where they are to where they need to be, aligned with the industry requirement, and thereby creating a very democratized access to jobs. When we look at academic excellence, I see that we primarily focus on learning, but the placement outcome and the assessment dimensions are equally important. And finally, it is very important, and we have seen that institutions who have been on the forefront of technology adoption, cloud adoption, are able to free up both their administrative as well as faculty to ensure that they are focusing on other dimensions of transformation. And today it is very important. It is as simple as adopting a Gmail, that we can adopt a campus on the cloud, making the institution more adaptable, resilient. Because one thing what we have learned from the pandemic is the future is going to be uncertain, and institutions that are embracing technology are going to be that much more better prepared. So the key message that I want to give is we need to always look at all of these dimensions holistically and look at the reinforcing element that each of these dimensions bring. A great assessment model will ensure better learning experience, and a focus on outcomes will again drive and force the institutions to participate and involve the industry much more than today what they're doing. So let me take a minute on each of these dimensions. I've spoken most of it, but each of these dimensions have pillars themselves that we need to be aware of. As I mentioned, when it comes to learning, involving the industry, both in design and delivery, and also implementing a digital pedagogy that uses the best of digital and physical worlds is very, very important. And driving experiential learning so that students are engaged and there is a pull to learning rather than pushing learning. It is gone are the days where the students just need to rely on textbooks. Today, with the advent of digital content, learning can be much more gamified and interesting, and today technology exists to enable that. When it comes to assessment, this is a heavy slide. I'm running out of time, but main thing that I wanted to highlight when it comes to assessment is to be prepared with this flexible assessment models, whether it's remote assessment, hybrid assessment, in-center assessment. The more models that an institution is prepared, the better prepared and resilient they would be based on how the situation turns out in the next few months. And as I mentioned, connectivity is a very big challenge. Today, technology exists to overcome this, which works on low bandwidth. And again, the effective use of AI, ML to avoid malpractices, because assessment is all about ensuring the credibility of the institution and the summative assessments that are conducted, and have a very scalable platform so that institutions can reach and create and attract a diverse cohort to join their organization. And one area where we see a lot of, which is also a very easy way to adopt technology, is to look at this entire process of question paper creation and just-in-time delivery that will avoid a lot of the process gaps today academic institutions are facing. When it comes to placement, as I mentioned, the most important thing is to first baseline the employability quotient and baseline the knowledge of the student, whether it is industry knowledge, subject matter knowledge, and then use that analytics to create targeted interventions. And the most important thing about baselining, just like in learning, it is to ensure that one uses a test or a platform which is industry validated and industry recognized, thereby creating and closing the final loop, which is providing access to talent based on their skill set, based on their aspiration, based on their aptitude to recruiting partners. And the last dimension of operations transformation is putting the student, the administrative staff, the faculty at the center, and then designing an experience around them so that the focus can be on learning. Any repetitive manual tasks should be automated by the use of AI, machine learning. Today, it is very, very much possible. And always, look at an integrated solution. I see a lot of institutions adopting different solutions for each of their processes. The challenge that creates is that the management is unable to get a 360-degree view of their organization. And not just look at the campus solution and the learning experience solution as two differently, but look at it again as in an integrated manner. Because one is the operation, but it's also very important to track the learning effectiveness that the organization is implementing, and is it creating outcome, and have a very scalable, secure, and cloud-based solution to enable all of this. So in summary, the message that I want to leave you with as my opening remark is, when we have to drive academic excellence, we look at all of these dimensions together. When it comes to learning, look at experiential learning in partnership with industry. When it comes to assessment, look at platforms that will enable you to attract top talent and create a diverse pool so that you have a cohort where learning can happen effectively. Always have the end in mind, because finally institutions have to produce employable talent that can be absorbed by the industry. And the best way to do that is to first baseline the current talent maturity, the current organizational maturity, and then look at that analytics to create targeted intervention. And finally, all of this is possible only if you have an organization that has adopted technology to drive operations, free up faculty time, create great experience for the student. Online education is not just about creating live lectures. It is much more than that. Today, technology allows you to create interventions that make learning experience addictive, experiential, and all of that is possible today with the best technology, best in breed technology that institutions should embrace and adopt. And all of this, I believe, will definitely lead to creating academic excellence and creating talent that can truly transform our nation. Thank you.